What practices have you implemented to create more effective work environment in your team or in your companies? So I will be sharing more about the macro side of it. So to build a great environment, it's, for me, the way I look into it is about building a whole cycle. It's about when I'm recruiting someone for my team or for my company, my key interest is about I'm looking for highly scalable leadership skills. And you may say this one, how do we get those recruitment, those highly scalable leaders? So this is my strategy. I like to focus about how do I minimize the cost of recruitment and maximize the cost of employer branding. The reason I like to do this one is about employer branding is more sustainable and more scalable. Recruitment cost is going to be one shot and it will become and it will go and I will keep paying it all the time. So whenever, let's say example, I have a specific thoughts about this one when you're talking about scalable leadership things. So whenever, let's say example, I'm recruiting for middle managers or leaders, I'll be looking for about an effective leader, more importantly. So, and the characteristics I will be looking for a catalyze, commitment, and show the ability to pursue for a clear and compelling vision, stimulating higher performance standards. That is like if you say 5 levels of leaderships, this is like a level 4. That's what I will look into it. But in case I'm not finding and I really need a more technical person, then I can go for a competent manager, which is organizing people, resources toward the efficient and an effective pursuit to predetermined objectives. So that's the 2 things I will be looking into it. And until then, I will keep looking for the person if it's a leadership's roles. And if I'm recruiting for junior roles, then I'll be looking for not for level 1, which is more about a highly capable individual. I'm looking for contributing team player, because I will be looking for people who will come to the team and will be willing alone, but will be willing to make the team win. So that's the level I'll be looking for. So that's my recruitment strategy. The second one is about I really focus about called candor, feedback candor. So this is something I've seen that but Netflix have implemented very successfully, where they do radical feedback. Recently, I know there is a little bit of controversial, one of the chief digital officer kind of lay off 3 of the marketing department staff, which is their distortion of their value, or I don't want to make comment about it because maybe there's a lot of other things on the thing. But my way is about creating a radically open feedback environment where each of the team member can provide feedback. It could be positive, it could be negative, with the full respect and responsibility, and that's fine. The number 3 is about I like to focus about creating a team members, an environment where there is highly coaching and mentoring environment. So my interest is about how do I can turn each of the leaders or managers in the teams who are a mentor and coach. So even I also train the trainer program into my team, so to facilitate the skill development, and then encouraging them with different kind of awards, in small incentives and encouragement, and also recognitions as well to build that environment into the team. So these are the 3 things which I would like to mention for the macro side. Pedro, do you want to add anything else from the macro side from your perspective?
I was just thinking about the concept of permanent growth inside the organization, because I think not necessarily is wrong all the time, but normally when we hire someone, we are always thinking about the capability of the growth of the employee. Okay, being even moreover, if it be being a manager, I'm not sure, according to my experience, that necessarily we need to have all people in the organization always growing to a different position. And this is something that I really have some doubts, because if you have a good middle manager, not necessarily will be a great C-level. So the continuous looking for developing the people, expanding their capabilities, expanding their scope of interaction, I don't see that is necessarily the right direction to do it. And sometimes there is this false understanding and false perception when we hire the people. Of course, we need to look for hiring people that can grow in a certain extension, but also we need to have people that can perform what is expected and not always looking under the shoulder for the next step. And this is a difficult balance, and is even more critical, and in the new generation, which means you hire someone for a certain position that is already looking to be the CEO of the company, which means that is always expected that the company is providing a very accelerated growth instead of really looking to do properly what is supposed to be done. It's a difficult balance. Yeah. So I just want to share because sometimes I'm really not sure if we always look for the right resources, because we should also take into consideration that when we hire someone, that he should fulfill what is expected for that position, not necessarily to be able to perform the position expected in 5 years. It's a balance. Yeah.
Right. So when you are organizing, particularly in leadership role, the goal is very simple. We want to solve a particular problem in the company. And we're basically looking for an expert to come to the company to solve that problem. If somebody can solve the existing problem in the companies and take a leadership role, that won't make any sense. That person will be able to do something in 5 years on the ground. That will not make sense because that problem will be still there and will be keep hurting the company and the team, and that is not right. And I like the options you also mentioned about somebody could be great managers, but maybe will not be fitting for a great C-suite. I absolutely see the same way too, because the skills that we need as a management level, even the senior manager level and the director level and the C-level level, is actually very different. And sometimes some of the skill set is completely opposite. Like an example, a manager role is about keeping up the team, hold the house. But now most of the C-suite executive is not about holding the house. It's about innovation, be ready to fail, take a big lift, launch out something completely new thing, take a lot of risk. But the manager level is absolutely opposite. How do we manage the risk and mitigate the risk and keep up the thing forward?